20 questions to ask yourself in the still of the night, whether bright-starred or half-mooned, in the midst of the day, as you go about your living and learning, when rising freshly to the morning, to the unfolding of more curiosity, possibility, surprise. The number of them doesn't matter, nor time, nor place, only how heartful, how truthful your asking, how meaningful the answering. Questions that here and there want to be posed, mused on, even if there are no clear or ready answers to be found or heard. Questions only you, with all innocence, can ask, must ask, without pause, of your deep knowing self. Welcome to the latest Floating Poetry broadcast, and thank you for leaning in to show 129 in my ongoing weekly series, coming to you live from the unbroken Rhode Island coast. This is your poet and poetorialist Colin Goedecke, a voice for living our days more fully, more alively, more poetically. In broadcast 128, we talked about wisdom, seeking, gaining, using, and refining it, drawing from the wisdom of nature, of true elders still with us, of ancient philosophers, of thinkers, writers, and others past and present, of practical to emotional to spiritual wisdom, arrived at through our own life experiences, and more. This week, on your commitment, querying if, where, how, and how much you're committed, as we speak, to vital dimensions of life, living, interrelating, to yourself, to the well-being of your home, the earth, to a healthy and vibrant society, to your greater humanity, where we might say, wherever you've planted your flag. Hence the choice of image, a visual poem for the show that you see, if you're looking at the screen at all. And whether your commitments have changed by choice or circumstance, and if so, why? Well, I often, as many of you know, ask a related set of questions somewhere inside each program, this week I've decided to shape the broadcast differently, purely as a stream of questions and reflections in turn for you, for us, in poems paired around each one, for all of us to take in and contemplate as we go along together here, and ideally for you to continue pondering some or all of later on in the days and weeks to come. We may not get to them all, but I have a feeling we'll get to enough of them. So let's go. Maybe we begin with what your commitment is to looking in the mirror. This piece is called What Do You See? This reflection is called What Do You See? When you look in the mirror, look at yourself honestly, unposed, unpoised, maybe unclothed. However life finds you, has shaped or graced or weathered you, your face, your body, when you stand quietly, looking through the glass, looking within, inside yourself. When you gaze long and openly enough for the roles to reverse, and you to become the mirror image, your mirror image to become the observer, the beholder, the eye. When your mirror, hiding nothing, saying everything, tells you the truth. What of your commitment to seeking life meaning? Whoever you are, wherever and however you are, there are veins, great veins, mother loads of meaning to be found, to be mined, inside and around you, to make your life all the richer, all the finer, all the more treasured and immeasurable. So become a good seeker, miner of real meaning, a panner and separator of the truly meaningful from the dross, the immaterial. And once found, be a good embracer, deepener and appreciator of it. You'll know you've struck gold when you feel it in your bones, when you feel it in your heart, when it passes the acid test of what your whole being so naturally knows, serves, and nourishes the fleeting days, the irreplaceable years and moments you're awake and alive. Your commitment to opening. How wide open is the window of your awareness? Is the path to yourself? Is the door to your body, to your heart, to your soul? Are you to believing you can have any kind of life, many kinds of lives? To realizing every waking day, every dreaming night, you are swimming in a wide, open sea of possibilities. What of your commitment to nurturing yourself in whatever ways feed, fuel your thriving? And surely you know what those are. As a fish needs water, as a bird needs air, as some forests need wildfire to renew, to reproduce, as all mountains and valleys need earth to become what they are, I need nature's elements, its daily nourishments, its wonderments, and wild firings of energy to come more fully alive, to stay alight, to grow, to thrive. So are you committed to giving yourself what you need? What would you say about your commitment to evolving, to becoming, versus staying static? How will you begin or continue to see and feel, bring to light far more of yourself, who you really beautifully and so one of a kindly are? Cast off the cloaks of whatever you're not or thought you had to be. Find and live the unlived, undiscovered parts of your life, the buried treasures of your body, mind, heart, waiting to be discovered and embraced, honored, and expressed. Pose big, beautiful questions to yourself, ones ready to reshape you just by courageous asking, honest pondering, starting from your soul. Begin new conversations, fresh and freeing conversations with and without words, with the world around you, the people, the earth, and humanity around you, and those you've outworn or have worn you out. Kindle your deeper passions and compassions, from glowing embers to roaring bonfires. Reimagine how much more is possible, dreamable, where the world is your oyster, full of pearls. Revisit what is, in this here, this now, most natural, vital, joyful, what brings you alive. Maybe the music of Brahms or birds, the taste of true love, friendship, sunlight. Because another future may be calling for you to enter, for you to begin. Connecting to your essence. How and where are you committed to connecting to that? To your essence, your wordless essence. being in the heart of the forest, of the jungle, of darkness, of yourself, standing still in the heart of places far larger than you imagined, taking in, drinking in all the immensities, all the subtleties, where streams of primal feelings, visceral knowings flow through your body, echo clearly through every openly, deeply receiving chamber. And are you committed to appreciating your body itself? A 35 trillion cell wonder. That's you. All those cells orchestrating with vast intelligence a galaxy of processes, complexities inside your body, without you thinking. From your breathing to your blood flow, enabling you to laugh, make love, give birth, swim, dream, live every moment. Talk about wonder. And what about commitment to something I speak about now and then? Not just your aliveness, but your wilderness, your native vibrance. This is a poem from my exhibition, Behind the Curtain, that debuted in the spring of 2018. I toured around after that. Wildly alive. When you feel yourself fountaining, feel your whole body celebrating its aliveness. When your spirit opens to its native expressiveness. When your limbs are all akimbo, your spirit all a dance, appassionato. When your feet are so light, as if floating, and your heart so full of heat, supernovaing, your eyes bright with inner sunlight, and as you bring everything out in every way without crescendo or diminuendo, to being freely, wildly in this moment. Well, speaking more about the body, your earth suit, these earth suits we're in, our spirits are in, our souls are in, could you be committed to enjoying it more, any or all parts of it? Well, I have a prominent trademark nose, if you've seen it, and I finally come over years to enjoy it. I, of course, was teased about it as a kid, but now I love it, and I enjoy it, and I have this, just on a different note, is an ode to a nose, but you can compose an ode to any part of you. I'm encouraging you. It starts with a quote by Blaise Pascal on Cleopatra's nose. Had it been shorter, the whole face of the world would have been changed. I'm glad for mine, the long aquiline form of it, the way it has shaped, informed my face, how I've faced myself in the world, and how the world has seen, sensed me. A nose for all seasons, sensitive receiver, perceiver of subtleties and reveries, indelible marker of now an ancient character, raised prow cutting confidently through daily sweet and salty waters, airstream cone navigating near and distant atmospheres, censor of sensuality, savoring everything, from wines to ocean winds, and being savored, even sometimes deliciously enamored. So, yeah, the nose, ode to a nose. So make an ode to something. And you can share it with me. I'd like that. I'll keep it to myself if you want. So yes, faithfully enjoying, but I would say also being playful. I think that's just as important of a practice as probably a lot of other things, not just being serious. Well, how would you describe your commitment to seeing, as in seeing clearly and deeply? Seeing clearly. Without blinders or blindfolds, illusion or confusion, looking consciously, wide openly, without looking away, seeing straight to the bottom of the waters, of yourself, of others, of everything before you, all things below, above, and around your mind, your heart, your present moment, your future. And in that clear blue sky seeing, you find that your choosing, your living, your loving becomes so natural, moving wisely through your days, engaging the world confidently becomes usual. And the beauty, the pure joy of being your own person, a one and only man or woman in the mirror and in the eyes of those you know, comes often and easily, so affirmingly, when you're open, able, committed, no matter what or where it leads, to see everything clearly. Let's talk about balance. We hear so much about it, at least I do, and maybe you do, the need to be balanced, whether it's work-life balance or other kinds of balances. Is that a commitment of yours? And how are you honoring it? To balancing. This was written on a summer solstice here in Rhode Island, actually in 2020. It's called the Balancing Act. Is ours to learn from nature, which, left undisturbed by man, by us, always stays there in perfect balance. And on solstices like this, and equinoxes, returns our whole sphere completely there, as if from its own vast consciousness, an intelligence far beyond yours and mine, to remind us again, subtly and immensely, call to those listening, sensing, to find, feel, keep an inner footing, a balance of being, to seek equilibrium with the self, yes, but also with each other, and even more sentiently with this natural world, this phenomenal world that makes so much life and beauty, bounty, and greater harmony possible. Balancing. And presence, bringing your presence to every moment, being fully present, not somewhere else in your mind or spirit, but right there. What say you? Deeper presence happens many fathoms below merely being here, simply showing up for. It's total immersion, connection, correlation with each place or person you engage with. Nothing surface or shallow, only substance and transcendence through all your self-distractions, self-absorptions, where you bring, feel, and are felt as a deeper, freer, and clear as a mountain stream presence in each moment. How often have you contemplated your spirit and your steadfastness to it? Spirit, the sacred flame that lights, ignites your entire body, all the days of your living, all the joys of your loving. The sacred water that streams, gleams in glorious ways through your heart, in endless ways from your soul. The sacredly spirited you. And following your intuition, what ways are you committed to following it, wherever it leads you? The electric bed. You turn it on by unplugging yourself, by going dark into sleep, by connecting to the grid of your dreaming world, where everything is electric, is wildly charged, flows with fast and slow current, with high and low voltage, positives and negatives, generates heat and light of curious and compelling kinds, conducts your subconscious through flashing scenes, encounters, mysteries, marvels, activates deep and secret circuits of intuition, precognition, sends signals, powerful signals, through the wires to your waking life. I'd certainly like to ask you about your commitment to joy, to all things joyful, great and small. Here's joy riding. Not the reckless kind, or involving anything high speed or stolen. Rather, the ride your heart takes you on when you fly through the clouds or down the roads of new love or newly discovered passions, inspirations. Rides that, however long or short, are fully and wildly joyful, take you to places of great aliveness, require no permits or permissions, no brakes or blinkers, only your willingness to go along, only your allowing of all the joy to rush through and around you. Be a free and full-on joyrider. Well, that led me to think for us of being committed to feeling, to experiencing wonder, including the beauty of each season. And just recently was the autumnal equinox, and it was one of the most spectacular I've ever witnessed. And it led to this poem that very day, and that experience that I wanted to share with you also in honor of this season of autumn here in New England, Rhode Island. It was after the rain. After all the rain monsooning through the day, cascading through the leaves of the still green with summer trees, that gave way late afternoon to reappearing sun, rain-cooled air, returning birds and their flying songs, that inspired slow driving past sturdy New England houses struck white with slanting first fall light, out to the ocean waves, and being surprised there, walking barefoot by the sea, by the heavens revealing their higher splendors in luminous, voluminous clouds of spun gold and rose, flaming orange, saffron. Clouds from creation myths, dreams, other worlds. And below them on the horizon, a great rainbow rising from the sea, invisible and untouchable colors, prisming into the sky, into the lustrous clouds, into the eyes and spirits of all of us, beholding with wordless wonder this rare fanfare for the equinox and the unfolding on earth of autumn. Yes, dear listeners, wonder that transcendently moves and fuses us and has through all the time of man and woman before us. All of them, I am sure, and will beyond us. So, opening to wonder, even vowing that we will at every opportunity, might make a dramatic difference if you haven't already done such a thing, even halfway. But full would be quite amazing. This is a blood moon. This was on a lunar eclipse, January 2019. The only thing warm tonight in the deep winter sky, and soon to occlude, the wolf moon, ice moon, old moon. During its dousing, a time for howling out our truth to the star-studded universe, so deeply listening, offering up wonder for these rare passages of our planetary nature, like generations of strangers, of ancestors before us, divining the light inside our shadow as it passes so silently, so mysteriously, red-bloodedly, over the earth. Blood moon. Are you committed to listening in to nature with your outer ears? Yes, of course, but your inner ones too. Be still and listen to what the earth below your feet is singing, to the stories the young and old swaying trees are telling, to the conversations of the hawks and the herons, the whisperings of the planets and stars, the jubilations of the sun, the rain, the ocean waves. Be still and listen with your spirit's ear to everything of note that's here, all ready to be heard. How committed are you to mindfulness, and where and how and everywhere you go or find yourself? This is a piece about that, I suppose we could say. It's called Moving Over Millennia, and I have a lovely original scoring to music of it, so let me share that with you if you haven't heard it before. I played it other times, but I thought it would be lovely to include now. A poem from Greece, from the Cyclades, from the island of Kea. Moving over millennia. My feet move over millennia of men's sandaled footsteps on these dromas, rising and falling with the terrain just as they rose and fell on cool marble underfoot, walking under hours of sun, over marble and dry earth scattered with acorn shells, between stone-stacked walls and olive groves, through curtains of cicadas, wind, breath, sometimes with glimpses of celadon and cerulean, oases of sea. My feet move with mindfulness over their millennia. Well, all right. I was thinking, as I thought of that piece for you, and that question, is that in this world we're in of hyper fast everything, almost everything, many things, is a commitment I have, and maybe we could consider, if you don't have it, to slowing down any part of your repertoire, make it part of your repertoire, to slow down. And for the America's Cup in Bermuda years back in 2017, where I was serving as the Poet Laureate for the Truce Foundation of the United States, one of the pieces in the Poetorial that I created, a much larger body of work, was a piece called Racing, also scored to original music. And on this note of slowing down, let me share this short piece with you. Racing, chariots and boats, men and women, hearts and minds, clocks, rockets to the moon, but not the sun or clouds, the seas or seasons, the making of histories, the unfolding of known and unknown galaxies. So maybe less racing, eh? And more pausing. And what about promising yourself to do more relaxing, more easing? Is that important to you? Sit back. Run yourself a bath. While it's running, pour yourself a drink, a smooth vino rosso or other aperitivo. Put on Coleman Hawkins or Russ Columbo. Have a slow dance with your partner or a slow kiss. Slip out of your clothes into your bath. Sit back. Close your eyes. Let your breath flow. Your body float. Your cares and concerns dissolve in the warm and languid waters. I'd like to ask us about the nature of our commitment to loving and learning to love more wisely, more consciously. Loving another is a heart form, a mind and body form, also an art form, maybe the highest or purest, one to glean, enter, actively apprentice, learn to master, instead of breezing, fumbling, or assuming through it. After decades living and significantly loving others, however truly, however beautifully, it's now ringingly clear how some parts come naturally, while the wholeness, the healthiness, fruitfulness, and resilience of it come only when it's most consciously practiced, when we're not just present but presence, when we're not simply but daily and deeply engaged, entirely seeing, listening, leaning into, and communing with another, understanding and nurturing another through all their joys and mysteries, through all their sufferings and growings. And as well beyond loving others, if, where, and how you're committed to loving the world itself. The world is ready. In case you missed the news, not in any headlines, but all the heartlines, the world is ready to be loved today. The whole world, from the birds and the clouds, the cities and their spires, to the tides and the downpours, the countrysides and their colors. Everything and everyone you're sharing this whole world, whole earth with. Wake, breathe, dream your whole life with. Here, the heart, light, music, spirit of it, all ready and waiting for your loving. Further to appreciating and ideally revering our incredible natural world, the living world, as I like to call it. Here's some words from the earth. Before you ask, land dwellers, sea rovers, tillers, spelunkers, before you ask the questions many ask, have asked since man first appeared here, or may in time dawn in your mind or form on the lips of your fellow creatures, about me. Look from heart and root across this place, at this oasis, into this whole intelligence I offer you freely, share with you generously. And you might then sense the answers, might well see, feel, and receive your answers. can you speak of your commitment, dear listeners, to your humanity, to our humanity? Contemplate it silently or with others. Our humanity, what we belong to, what we can point to out there around us, and what a singular gift, our innate sentience, deeper humanness, shared with 8 billion other souls and bodies, what we can rise to in here, if and when we choose to or are moved to. Summon the truer and fuller humanity that, whether clearly or obscurely, resides so surely within each of us. Whether it's eager or reticent, lost or longed for, sleeping or awakening. I remember ceremonies that began in the dark of a church or a country field, a first candle being lit from a source, and from that first lighting to the other held by the person beside. Then each holder in turn letting their flame light the next and next until all were aglow, until we soon cascadingly formed one immense body of light, a bonfire of human-kindled kind, reflecting spirits, reflected in eyes, beaconing a remembering out, sending a hope-filled illumination out into the unseen and unknown, the same way the flame of your humanity and mine, instead of flickering alone, can be lit, fed, combined, and enlarged, can join the wicks, the rising spirits of all those who, from where we stand, we cannot see or know, but can feel in the center of our chests. Enough to create a great forest, a great sea, family of uniting, igniting humanity, a shared light rise, the greatest that people of any time in history or memory have ever known. A conscious joining, generous, emanating of human light, benevolent light that brings wanted, beyond needed solace, strength, and wordless togetherness forth to soothe the heart and smooth the future of the trembling world. And what would you say about your commitment to your friendships, the ones you have or are making? True friends, dear friends, rare friends, of our past, of this present, especially brothers and sisters of the soul, all gratefulness for their sacred reciprocity, for seeing us, our essence, and allowing us to see them and theirs, for letting us be ourselves freely, entirely, abundantly, for being faithful witnesses, champions, encouragers on our journey, its highs and lows, its wise steps, encounters, stumbles, for adding to our aliveness, largeness, wholefulness, for holding a space for our becoming, for loving us without conditions, without exceptions, without judgment, for simply joyfully anticipating sharing any time and space, life, our lives allow, and whether communing or quietly idling, carrying on, adventuring along afresh each time, however short or long the gaps between our meetings or conversing's, and feeling the other's molecules even when away from our confrere's company, for affirming the light and innocence of our spirits in word and gesture, for appreciating the rareness of our kindredness, savoring its sweetness, for letting the rivers of our hearts, our minds, our deep caring come together, flow together, to make a channel of beautiful and true friendship possible. All our thanks. Taking a few things out just so we keep in good time together. I definitely want, however, to talk for a moment with you about freedom. especially as it's so challenged in so many ways in our countries and planet and communities, states, provinces. So I wonder about your and our collective commitment to independence wherever we live. How would you describe it? And how much does it mean to you? This is Declaring Your Independence. This was written on July 4th of 2018 in the United States. On this day when we mark with fireworks and picnics the country becoming wholly self-governing, maybe it's a day, an opportunity to affirm or ascend to our own free-handedness, our fullest independence of thought, of action, of way of living, being in the world, the right to freely choose our own way, to naturally express our own feelings among our own people, all people, without fanfare or fear of their histrionics, censorings, or polemics. Maybe declaring this self-rule, giving up beholdenness to anything or anyone that keeps us from growing, keeps us from rising, including allegiance to old beliefs, unserving loyalties, and giving ourselves these vital, radial liberties takes equal braveness and even greater precedence. Do you have a commitment to peacefulness of any kind, smaller or larger? This is the times of truth. I'll play it for you. The times of truce, when the blowing winds cease, when the swelling seas settle down, when the earth enters a still point near dawn, near dusk, where the night skies grow silent with stars, whenever the world of nature makes peace with itself, and man mirrors that peace in himself, gives free leave to his fellow man. These are the times when rare and graceful plumes of truce, deep spirits of unity, community, can be found and greatly felt by everything living. Be remembered and honored by everyone, young to old, hearkening. Well, that was so beautifully composed, and the other pieces I played for you were composed by my brilliant young composer Jacob Friedman that I worked with on those three and some other pieces, some of which are up on my pleinairpoetry.com site, where there's all kinds of written and spoken visual poetry. So, I'm glad to share that with you today. Well, we're coming into a last handful of things, some to ask you and some things just to offer you. But one of them is, as I ask about all these different commitments that you may have made or want to make or want to deepen yourself into, to daily and regularly filling yourself with light. So, let's perhaps meditate on that for a moment, and I'll give you this meditation that I created in 2016, pausing under the sun and open sky of the autumnal equinox. Then feel all the light falling. Let all the light fall today in a rare receiving way, fully, equally, wholly into your hemispheres, your north and south, your left and right brain, your masculine and feminine, conscious and unconscious, actual and potential self. Pause. Close your sunlit eyes and slowly breathe. Open. Widen. Feel the life-giving, life-renewing rays enter the center, the equator of your body, your being, bringing all parts of your inner world into great balance, bathing all parts of you in greater warmth and health, brightening, lightening your places, crevices, passages of darkness, sadness, hiddenness, shadow. Let all the new light falling, streaming, seeking, find and fill you this day with a keener seeing, sense of turning, promise of becoming. And while I chose for this broadcast to use my own work, there is this poem, as we wind toward a close, by David Whyte. I felt fitting on sharing and around making and keeping sacred promises to ourselves. It's called All the True Vows. Maybe you know it. All the true vows are secret vows. The ones we speak out loud are the ones we break. There's only one life you can call your own, and 1,000 others you can call by any name you want. Hold to the truth you make every day with your own body. Don't turn your face away. Hold to your own truth at the center of the image you were born with. Those who do not understand their destiny will never understand the friends they have made, nor the work they have chosen, nor the one life that waits beyond all the others. By the lake, in the wood, in the shadows, you can whisper that truth to the quiet reflection you see in the water. Whatever you hear from the water, remember, it wants you to carry the sound of its truth on your lips. Remember, in this place, no one can hear you, and out of the silence you can make a promise it will kill you to break. That way you'll find what is real and what is not. I know what I am saying. Time almost forsook me, and I looked again. Seeing my reflection, I broke a promise and spoke for the first time after all these years in my own voice, before it was too late to turn my face again. All the true vows. Thank you. Thank you, David Whyte. In the great scheme of things, between and around the sweeps of history, the leaps of science, the frontier crossings of technology, the arcing and blending of cultures and philosophies, are the epically simple wonders of loving and being loved, seen, heard, breaking bread with friends, finding meaning in each day, feeling moments of sheer aliveness, wholeness, radiant here-ness, appreciating all the gifts, the remarkable, irreplaceable gifts of yourself and this heavenly, earthly life. So, friends, here's to fully engaging and expressing your entire self. Let's have it. All your color and flavor, light and shadow, saltiness, sweetness, your fresh squeezed juice, juiciness, the pith and zest, sinew and marrow within, all the laughter and the tears, your unbidden laughter, unhidden tears, your face as a visible, changeable weather map, full of sun or rain, blue or gray, heat or cold, squalls, gales, jet streams, water spouts, showing us the days, seasons of your patterns, moods, and forecasts. Tell us of your life dreams, heart's desires, your quests and visions. Give us the play of all your postures and gestures, ways of engaging, acts of responding, how your body can speak, dance, love without words. Share with us the voice, songs, chords, sculptings, scrivenings, colors, and brushstrokes. All the expressions of your being, of your making, of your spirit kindling, with no holds, no binds or blinds. Free as a bird, as a kite, as the wind. Just letting it rip, letting it flow, letting your soul glow through your eyes and skin, giving us all the wholeness, the largeness, nuance, exuberance of your here on earth, rare on earth self. Oh yes, let's have it. If not now, when? When you have more time, when you have more energy, or money, or courage, fill in the blank. The excuses are endless. Yet life is not. Yours too will end. So why not take the chance, make the leap, the choice to experience a world of things you can right now, like greater aliveness, like the wilds of your imagination, a diet high in joy and wonder, a daily sense of belonging to something beautifully larger, a belief that so much else is possible for you, from you. I suggest now, before the spark of invitation and enthusiasm disappears, before the flame of dream, of desire goes out, before you run out of time, of breath, of life. And last, for now but not least, here are your wings to fly with. No need to wait for any other sign from heaven or earth. Just open to the change, to the favoring winds of possibility. Off you go. Thank you again for leaning in, listening, and feeling in, for giving thought to the questions and reflections, invocations and evocations we moved through together this hour, for sharing links to the broadcast replays with friends and others, as many of you do, and ideally this one too ripples out to the world through you, and for sending, if you've been touched or inspired, a gift of thanks to me for this or an earlier program, or an appreciation for all the effort I'm investing each week in creating and presenting these live shows, 129 and counting. I always welcome thoughts and suggestions, so email me, Colin@thepoetorialist.com. I'd also like to hear your experience of this show. Even one word that you feel best describes it, sums it up. Your contribution, if you're sending one, can be sent by Venmo to fivefold, FIVEFOLD, at pipeline.com, or by PayPal, or by mail to me at P.O. Box 1032, Westerly, Rhode Island, 02891. Also through my site, thepoetorialist.com, and the Donate tab. Patrons can also host or sponsor me as a working poet in residence in a given place in the world for a given time and a given season to create a new flight of poetic art and dedicate it to them. Email me to explore the opportunity. Meanwhile, you can hear all the broadcasts online on YouTube on the Floating Poetry playlist. I hope you'll lean in soon again. Until then, dear listeners, may you reflect on, begin, or deepen your commitment to any or all of the meaningful, inspiring, enlivening, engagings, and embodyings we talked about here. Among others of note that I've explored across the last 2.5 years for my growing listening audience across the world. Themes that matter greatly, individually and collectively. Goodbye for now, and good spirits.